Like, it's so hard to find like the perfect pair of pants for you and the perfect shirt for you. And the fact that we have this opportunity to like let people try stuff on and like not feel obligated to buy things like every time they go out is, I think, like really beneficial to a lot of the women that come to our swaps.
Yeah, and I think in general, people who are, I don't know, experimenting with a new style, or queer and trans folks who are, you know, trying out a new way of dressing. It's really expensive to buy new clothes and to fit a body that's changing or growing. So it's cool to be a resource for that.
Scared rabbit, they've got you boxed in. Old habit, you draw the curtain. Lonely only if they ever leave.
Hello, my name is Michael Zarick, and this is Third Space Indy. In 1989, a man named Ray Oldenburg wrote a book called The Great Good Place. In this book, he coined the term the third place. This describes a place that is outside of your work and outside of your home, that you can go be with others, be yourself, make friends and converse, and just be. So I've made it my goal here in Indianapolis to find people all over the city who are doing their very best to build these types of spaces, which brings me to today's guests. There are multiple, who run a free clothing exchange? Swap? That's probably a more appropriate word, called Swap Sesh. So I'm joined by Mads Gullion and Carly Valentine.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Fresh out of work. Literally. Not in the fired way, they just got off work.
In the 9 to 5 grind.
In the 9 to 5 grind way. So first of all, how are you doing?
Doing really good. I'm super excited to be here. First podcast I've ever been on, and I wouldn't choose a different one.
You wouldn't choose a different one? That's a kind admission, I feel.
Great. It's a little cold. I feel like we're having a better time than the people doing burpees out there.
Yeah, this view is incredible.
We are getting a nice sunset. It's later in the evening. So I just want to tell well, first of all, short story. My friend Kirsten, who lives in, you reminded me of this, which I really appreciate. My friend Kirsten, who lives in Chicago, met Mads at a conference in St. Louis and was like, you should listen to my friend's podcast in Indianapolis.
It was a great elevator ride.
It was literally just like an elevator pitch?
In an elevator, yeah. It was an elevator pitch for Third Space Indy.
That's so funny. And then for Carly, I was sitting at the 1656 Club the other day.
Wait,
do you remember this?
You?
Yes. I was sitting at the 1656 Club with Alexa of Alley Cat Ceramics the other day, and we took a selfie. And later, like an hour or two later, Alexa texts me and goes, Michael, that woman in the background, that's Carly, who helps run Swap Sesh. And I was like,
God.
This was like a week ago. And she was like, you should have them on the podcast. I was like, okay, sure. Which you guys have already been on my mind.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about, well, actually, first of all, like, you guys are friends, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. No.
Can you tell the people how you met and like how you became friends?
We actually met through Swap Sesh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I started it. I was inspired by Kayla Bledsoe, who was, I think,
really?
on your
Yeah.
podcast before. And she was doing a clothing swap, and I just kind of like was inspired by the idea. So I started it like 2 years ago now. And I did them at Mystery Fun Club, and that's how we met.
What's Mystery Fun Club?
Oh, Mystery Fun Club. It's like it was an art supply store
okay.
in Fountain Square. But yeah, Mads like started volunteering at them, and like I don't know if you recognized I needed the extra set of hands or something, but yeah, we ended up becoming friends through that, and that was yeah. Do you want to?
Sorry. I think I came to the second swap maybe, and
When was this? You remember?
2024, early
Okay.
2024. So we're in our third year of swaps.
Let's go.
The full first year was at Mystery Fun Club, which closed, so we had to find a new location. But it was a pretty small space compared to what we work with now, and so it was packed, and there was like tables with piles of clothes. And I inserted myself. In college, I managed a free store.
Oh.
So like 24/7, just a room full of stuff that people could take.
Can you describe this setup? Was it like an actual store, or was this like someone's dorm room?
No, it was in an academic building.
Oh,
We
okay.
had a dedicated like space that students and faculty and staff could access,
Oh, okay.
and you left what you didn't need and took what you did need. So I missed doing that, and I came to Carly's swap and said, I'm going to help you.
Was it that forceful? You're
I don't know. I was like, can I help? And then I just kept coming around. So eventually I wormed my way into a leadership position.
Well, I mean, it felt like more like a mutual like understanding. I think like the more like we did them together, like the more it was just kind of like working out. So like we both could like, I don't know, have like a shared role. And I mean, the only thing preventing you from like having the leadership position was not having the Instagram login. And then I was like, do you want the Instagram login? You're like, okay. And then now it's like, we have it. And
That's so
we're
funny.
sharing this beautiful baby.
So for people who may not know what occurs at this for any reason, can you describe the Swap Sesh event, which is 12 to 3 every third Saturday?
Actually, now it's 12 to 2:30. We updated the time. Yes.
You need to update that Instagram description. Ooh.
You know what? I thought about that, and thank you for the reminder. Okay, yeah, but so yeah, every third Saturday, 12 to 2:30, we invite people to come here to Garfield Park Arts Center and bring up to 10 clothing items that they don't wear anymore or didn't fit them right, and then they can exchange it for any kind of items that they want that other people bring.
But it's always clothes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Well, now actually we do art supplies too. So we're partnering with Craft Raft. Brittany is her name, and she does like the art supply section of it. But we just manage the clothes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then at the end of the swap, we pack everything up, and whatever doesn't get taken, we donate to Fletcher Place Community Center.
Oh, that's cool.
Right down the street.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just gets donated to the houseless people in the area, so it's all like staying local. It's not going to Goodwill or any kind of corporation.
What's like, so you were inspired by someone else, but like what about like offering a free clothing swap for people is like, what's your like driving force?
For me personally, I've always been like anti-fast fashion, anti like Amazon, like anti-shopping online. I'm a very I'm a very analog passionate person. So so I was like instantly drawn to this idea of like not only being able to like shop in person, but shop in person for free. I love free stuff.
Free returns too.
Yes, exactly. And then I also like love like the idea of third places too. And I was like, oh my God, like having this thing monthly, this like free event monthly is exactly what I would want. So I thought other people would want it too. And yeah. And I also am a graphic designer. So I was like, oh, I can like make these monthly events and then make a fun little flyer and like have fun with my graphic design skills. And I don't know, just have this new thing. That's why I like doing it.
Yeah, it was really fun once we started getting regulars, like
True.
people we knew by name because they came every month. This year's structure is a little different. We're doing 8 this year, I think.
Yes.
8 or 9.
Yeah, like
'Cause I
we
think-
like halved it.
I think last year we did like 16. So we left some room this year to do bonus swap-opportunities. We call them.
Mads made up that term. It's a genius.
I did. Because we want to do them here, our regular swaps, but we also want to be able to take it out into the community and do things like Earth Fest.
And we're doing it at North Mass Boulder too.
I think I guess like reason, I work in the environmental world, and the sheer amount of clothing that is produced and thrown away is mind-boggling. I think in the US we're close to like 91 pounds of textile waste per person per year. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's pretty close to accurate.
That does sound accurate.
And a lot of what we donate to places like Goodwill ends up in the landfill. So whenever we can divert that stream and keep it in a loop a little bit longer, that's great. And it's really fun to see there's certain, like that green dress
Oh my God.
that came back 3 or 4 times before it found its like final home. There are certain pieces.
I have a thought about that, and I'm so glad you brought up like a specific thing that evokes a memory for you, because in my mind it's like your event of Swap Sesh, especially when you have returning people, it's almost like rather than having your individual closet, you have a community closet that you have access to, because people are like, especially if there's like a dress that's it's like Sister of the Traveling Pants type shit.
Yep.
Where it's like, oh my God, I love that dress. Like everyone can try it on eventually.
I haven't seen it in a while.
And I joke that, like, you know, if you're not sure about it, go home, try it on, wear it for a month, and then bring it back if it doesn't work. Like free returns, because, you know, it'll eventually find the person it's supposed to go to. I have rediscovered, I think, my own shorts. Like, I think I donated that pair of shorts. We had a swap out here, and I went and tried on shorts, and everyone was like, aren't those yours? Or something like that. It was like, oh, I don't know why I gave these away. These are great.
Yeah. Wait, and you took them back?
I did.
Wow.
Community closet.
Wait.
That's true.
So you gave away a pair of shorts and you then returned them to yourself. Was it, I'm interested in this phenomena. Was it like I really liked, like I missed them, or was it like sorry.
It's like seeing it from a new light.
Yeah, I wonder, like you wore a bunch of other shirts, you're like, oh, I missed the old ones.
That's true.
I mean, I think it was more of a body fluctuation thing where they didn't fit, and so I donated them, and then I tried them on again and they fit. And I've learned with denim, at least, I just need to keep it, and one day it might fit again.
And that's like another good thing about this
Is being an adult woman.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's so hard to find like the perfect pair of pants for you and the perfect shirt for you. And like the fact that we have this opportunity to like let people try stuff on and like not feel obligated to buy things like every time they go out is, I think, like really beneficial to a lot of the women that come to our swaps.
Yeah, and I think in general, people who are experimenting with a new style, or queer and trans folks who are, you know, trying out a new way of dressing. It's really expensive to buy new clothes, and to fit a body that's changing or growing. So it's cool to be a resource for that. Like, absolutely. I don't know, do I look good in button-ups? Like, let me take a few from a swap, and maybe, you know, maybe this is my look, maybe it's not.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting insight, because I also am very self-conscious about my lack of style at this time. And I'm trying to like work on that, I think mentally. And I think there's a lot of pressure to like go out and buy clothing.
It's true.
But when I have people like you as a resource, is there men's clothing? Can I pull up?
Yes, I was about to say, please come. We need like more men's clothing. We need more men to show up to these events. Like just masculine clothing in general is, and I don't know if it's like the demographic we're reaching because of our, like how we advertise on social media. Like that's something that I'm kind of like exploring, like, because I can look at like the analytics of my Instagram posts, and like 60% at least are women. Like it's always the majority.
That's pretty close to half though, kind of. Oh, but you said at least, minimum.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you saw, but earlier this week I posted my analytics.
I did.
And I have like 74% women who follow me. And I was like, where are the men? And I went on a
Third spaces are for boys too.
They are. They're for everybody. Actually, men need them more than women, if I'm being honest, especially this time. But I actually went on a food podcast earlier. I was invited on, and he sent me his analytics in reply, and he goes, "Yeah, just talk about like deer balls and like meat." And I was like, he goes, "You'll find the men."
Guns, trucks.
Very stereotypical.
Oh gosh, what like?
My posture's been terrible this whole time.
I shrimp hard.
It's these benches, man. They're cold on my buns.
That was a very nice thing about the food podcast. He gave me like a blanket for the stool I had. He goes, that's probably cold. I should probably think about that. I'm a lightweight traveler. I'm also supposed to recreate the thing we did before the podcast, which I also really love your earrings. And you lit up when I said that.
Oh, thank you. They're my little mugs.
Did you make them?
No, I didn't. I got them at Indie Gay Market.
Oh, Plug.
Plug.
Indie Game Market.
Are you guys involved with them at all?
I am, yeah.
Oh.
I do the flyers for them too.
Wait, okay. Actually, we heard you talking about that at 1656 Club.
Oh my God, wait.
And that was... Wait, so when we took the selfie
Yep.
and she sent me the photo, she goes, "You remember that girl that was talking about the Indie Game Market?"
Yes, no, I'm glad that you brought that up because she like sent me the picture and like I like saw her take that picture and I was like actually working on a flyer for Indie Game Market and like when I focus I like do this thing where I stick out my tongue. And like I like looked up and was sticking out my tongue as soon as she took it and I was like, oh my God, I like just photobombed that picture so hard.
I also focused tongue so hard.
Yeah. So she sent it to me and I didn't realize she was talking to you. So it's like full circle now.
Yeah, she was like, "Michael, we should go to 1656 Club." And I was like, "You're trying to get me to drive across there's not a convenient bus that goes there and I live in Broad Ripple."
Oh, okay.
And I love riding the bus. Shout out Indigo always.
Woo.
But I did drive there and it was still like 25-30 minutes. And I was like, "You're making me drive across," but it was a
Hey, it's worth it.
lovely little coffee shop.
Yeah. 1656 Club.
And they have cool window art.
Oh yeah.
They just have cool
The
art. in
window
general.
artist there is very cool.
Yeah. Paloma, the owner, is really nice too.
Yes.
Yeah. We love local shout outs.
Oh.
Can you talk about like, well, I'm interested because you said you have like returning guests.
Yeah.
Which means you have sort of like in a way you're creating a third space of your own. Are there individuals that like you have started to like hang out with like outside of this other than each other? Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would say some of my other close friends I've like met through the swaps too, like Edith and my other friend Marissa. I like met them. No, Meadows McDowell. I always forget the second one. Anyways, yeah, like I don't know. I think we have like our own little like friend group that we made, and because after each swap, we're done packing stuff up, and then every once in a while we'll go to Upland or something and hang out. We haven't done it in a while. We should probably start doing that again.
Okay. I think the big ones for me are the staff of Garfield Park Arts Center.
True.
Like I love. Well, Bryn doesn't work here anymore, but Bryn and Sunshine and Griff are all incredible people that, I don't know, it's cool we get to see them like once a month.
Yeah. I was actually going to ask about your relationship with, so I don't think we've actually mentioned it. We're at the Garfield Park Arts Center.
Yeah.
GPAC.
GPEC.
And like what is, so you had to move from that art store to, this was your first space after that?
Yes. Yeah.
So what is your like relationship with GPAC and maybe indie parks, or like has it been like a good development?
Oh yeah, who reached out to you?
Sunshine actually reached out after Mystery Fun Club closed, and well, actually no, it was even before they closed, and she was like, "Oh my God, like, wait, was it before or after?"
It was before.
Okay, yeah, and I forget exactly how it ended up working out, but like they were closing as soon as Sunshine like reached out, and she was like, "Hey, like we would really love to have you guys do like maybe a clothing swap here." And I'm like, "Oh my God, we actually need a new place to do it." And then we were like, and she was like, "Oh my God, we can do it monthly here." And then it just kind of worked out like that. Yeah.
What was our first swap? Wasn't actually a swap, was it? And I don't remember why we did that. This you can cut this. I'm like our first, because the January we were like, let's not do a swap. I taught a class.
Oh.
Why was that?
Oh, we did a mending. I think we just wanted to do a mending repair shop.
But that's not the only mending thing you've done.
No, but that was the beginning of it. That was like, because I teach my friends and stuff, and I mend clothes for people. But I think that's the first time I taught a class, and then it was like, oh, this is a thing I want to do more of, and I got that opportunity because of Swap Sesh.
Yeah, I think we honestly wanted to just like highlight your class and like, so we didn't do a swap the first month. Instead, as a celebration for the new space, we're like, mend the clothes that you get, or like not get from the swap. Don't bring clothes with holes in them to the swap. But like mend clothes that you can't bring to the swap so you can continue wearing them, I think was the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all in the same ecosystem.
Yep.
Repair is radical. Take care of the stuff you have. Don't buy new.
The cycle of recycling, which is brain. reuse.
Yeah, reuse. Reduce. Wait,
no, reduce first. Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yes.
They
Oh,
teach
that's what
you.
you're going
Thank
for.
you. I was like, what are these words that I haven't said in like 10 years? They're in that order for a reason. You know, like it's about you should reduce your consumption 1st, reuse things so you didn't reduce your consumption, and then recycle as a last option. And I think we've sort of defaulted as a society to just recycling.
True.
And that I think plays into a lot of your sort of guiding principles. But the first thing is reduce with reuse in the middle, which is the sort of space you're occupying.
Yeah, I'd say like about recycling, I don't know that we've defaulted to that, or that's just been the thing sold to us by the companies producing the plastic. It's not really our fault.
Banger.
It's like, you have a problem with all the plastic we are creating that you're consuming, it's still your problem.
But if I stop using plastic straws, the seals will live.
I've heard
The
the
seed and the
turtles.
turtle.
Yeah. I've heard that that's true.
So like what? I want to talk more about this sort of this mindset of like reducing consumption.
Yeah.
Because I think that's something that we get caught up in. Well, even today, like I mentioned to you earlier, I was in a clothing store. It's a local brand and they're lovely and the clothing is really high quality. But at the same time, it's still like feeding into that constant need for purchasing more stuff. Like, what are your thoughts on that sort of thinking?
Oh, well, I was just going to say, like, I am very, like, as I said earlier, very anti-consumerist, at least for myself personally. I don't judge people, you know, entirely for, you know, wanting to splurge every once in a while, like wanting to treat themselves. That's fine. But I think as long as you're doing it in like a very conscientious manner, it's like healthy. I think there is like a line that all these corporations want people to cross where it's like, if you feel like you want to treat yourself, you should every single time. And you should, it's like
Retail therapy.
Yes, exactly. And it becomes like very like addicting. It's like an addiction.
But the system is designed that way. That's like companies spend so much on advertising to get you to feel that urge to buy a new thing.
Yeah.
It's like individual action matters and you do have choice, but like it's set up against you.
Yeah. And I mean, like, our clothing swaps, I feel like I would like to think that they make people slow down a little bit with their consuming. I mean, I don't know what happens to the clothes once they leave the swap. Like, people could be, you know, like not wearing them, taking them to Goodwill, even, like, I don't know. But I think it helps people slow down and like actually see like, okay, like what do I have to donate? And they have like a bunch of clothes to donate. They only have to choose 10. It like, I don't know. I would hope at least for me, it's made me slow down and made me stop buying so much stuff because I get to see how many clothes people are bringing every single month. I don't know if it's affected you, Mads, but like I don't really buy clothes for myself anymore. Like, it's just, I don't really feel the need to because I'm like, oh, I always have an option with a swap next month.
I've never been a huge like buy new clothing person. I grew up a Goodwill kid before it was cool. But yeah, the sheer amount of stuff we see this past month was almost 700 pounds of clothing that came in.
Yep.
What's your attendance like?
I think it was a couple hundred this time. We don't have like super accurate numbers because they're counting every person who comes into the center, but
It ebbs and flows.
Yeah, it ebbs and flows. A couple hundred. But I remarked aloud when we were cleaning up last month, I was like, are we making the problem worse? Are we enabling people to continue consuming and buying new clothes? Because I mean, we are seeing more Shein than when we started.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. And I'm glad that it's, you know, maybe getting a second chance. But I don't want it to be a thing that makes the problem worse. And then I think Brittany from Craft Raft was like, you do not have to put that on your shoulders. That's not your job. And I was like, I work in climate. It's always on my shoulders.
I mean, that's the thing too. Like, people from all different walks of life come into the swap, and a lot of like other artists will come in and reuse the clothing for like art projects. I have a friend, she like sews little like stuffed animals, and they're like weighted microwavable plushes. And I bought one, and she's like, "Oh, that's actually made from clothes that I got from your swap."
Nice.
And that just, it warms my heart because now he's back to me, and he's in a new light. He's a new baby. He was born from the swap.
Yeah, and there are people like Sunshine who like upcycle clothes, like with that purse that she made out of like a skirt or something.
Yeah.
Pretty
So
cool. People do cool stuff. And I think, I don't know, at the end of the day, like waste, I don't know if you're thinking about carbon emissions, like waste, which I
like the hand gesture.
which I always am. I mean, you know, buildings and transportation are much more of like percentage-wise the problem. Like 66% of our emissions in Indy come from buildings, and waste is like 0.5% or something. So that's not the thing that's gonna reverse climate change. But I do it because of the community, and I think it makes people think about their consumption and the clothes they wear a little bit more, and maybe it, you know, I don't know, they learn something, they meet new people. Like it's more about the impact that building that community has than like the waste
thing
itself.
Yeah. True.
Any other thoughts?
Oh, no, I think that was very well said. I know it is.
Carbon
pretty chilly.
emission. Here, give me your hand. Oh my God.
I have terrible circulation.
Here, we'll stay warm together.
This is a funny scene that we have here. If you're watching on
Make
YouTube.
it the thumbnail.
Also, I love
I'm gonna sit on my hand.
thumbnail is really funny too.
Have you ever been to a clothing swap?
No, none.
Man, they're pretty fun.
You should come to a clothing swap.
Yeah, the next one's March 21st here at GPAC, 12 to 2:30. Yeah, I think you would.
I
like
think
it.
the only reason I haven't come is because of the distance.
Yeah.
Just because like it's literally the like I can say this now because we kind of announced it today, and it'll definitely be announced by the time this episode comes out. Is Casey Springer and I, who runs We Walk Indy, are planning a park to park walk, which is Murat Park to Garfield Park.
Whoa,
It's about 13 miles,
that's huge.
and we're calling it the park to park because it's reminiscent of the tip to tip walk in Manhattan, which is about the same distance. Which means I literally live on the opposite side of the city from Garfield Park. That's my excuse. It's not an amazing excuse, but it is my
okay.
excuse.
Well, hopefully, like more clothing swaps will start popping up, and there'll be one closer to you.
Well, I mean, North Mass Boulder is at least within my realm
There you go.
of
yeah.
influence. But yeah, I really love coming down here. I think, you know, Parkside Public House over there is an excellent restaurant, and a lot of the businesses there I'm at least pseudo friends with. But I also just really enjoy this park also. So so I don't have a good excuse, just minor inconvenience.
Yeah, you can even
Yeah.
host your own. They're pretty
Just-
easy.
You're
Invite
braver than
some-
me.
No, just at your house, invite some friends over, tell everybody to bring clothes. Those are the most fun, I think, because then, I don't know, you get to like hype your friend up and be like, no, you should totally take that. It looks better on you than it does me.
Yes.
That is what I was going to ask. I'm so glad you asked or said what you said. Thank you for triggering the memory. How is your like personal fashion like developed over the course of like doing this? Have you gone like through fluctuations or like tried a bunch of stuff you've never thought you'd wear or any of that type of stuff? Also, trains are so loud on this hill.
Yeah,
I
the
feel
tracks go like right through here.
Can
Oh,
you
I
hear the
see it.
train?
Yeah.
They might be able to hear it, but it doesn't matter.
I mean, honestly, I've always liked experimenting with my style, so I can't really like pinpoint anything exactly that I've tried since I started. Well, I will say there was this really cool like matrix style super floor length jacket, this leather jacket that I was like, I would never think to buy that or get that for myself.
Wait, it was like you were Trinity from the Matrix type.
Yeah.
You were like and it was leather.
Yes.
That sounds sick.
It was so cool. And like, I would have never thought to get that for myself. And I wore it and I ended up hating it. But I was like, you know what? I got to try it. I think I got these like polka dot pants one time. Would have never thought to wear those. Now they're my favorite pants. I should have worn them today.
I think I've gotten a lot of like skirts and dresses from swaps. I don't know.
Are you a skirt and dress
No,
person?
I'm not.
That's what I was
So it's like I don't know, I'm trying to be more femme, like try out more femme clothes. But I do usually leave with like a couple of button-ups. Like I don't need more, but
I have beef with. Oh wait, actually, you guys are the perfect people to talk to about this. First, I have beef with like men's clothing options.
Say more.
Yeah,
you have pockets. What more do you want?
This is a constant conversation. And my wife has like a romper that has like really deep pockets, and every time she wears it, she's like, "Fuck yeah!" But
that's like when someone's like, "Oh, I like your dress." If it has pockets, you say
it has pockets.
But like men's clothing is so restrictive to just like pants and shirts. At least that's how I feel. Whereas women have dresses and skirts and rompers and bodysuits and all of these beautiful things, which is actually, an extension of consumption in a way, because women are the most exploited people on earth.
They make the pockets small so that you have to buy a purse.
Yeah. And like when advertising began, like in the 20s, 30s, like housewives were the like premier targets of advertising. Yeah. That's like true history. But I do have beef, and for a long time I talked to my wife about like starting a men's clothing brand, and I don't think I would ever do that, but like just out of like pure disdain for like men's clothing options.
Whoa. Like, what do you mean? Like, what would you
I have no see, this is the other issues. I never really thought that deeply about it. It was just purely like a side thought. I didn't know if you had any opinions about men's clothing, or at least traditionally men's clothing.
Yeah. So my partner Joseph, he's a man, and
he's a man.
he attends like pretty much every swap and helps out too, and he is always complaining, just like about how I don't know, like, and even with men's clothing, I think that it is hard for a lot of men to find like the shirt and pants that like fit them how they want too, Mm-hmm. So it's like not only are you limited like on options, but also like sizing is another limitation. But I feel like, to speak for him, he has gotten a lot of really cool stuff like from our swaps, like a lot of flannels, button downs. But I feel like I wish that men would wear skirts more and dresses more, and
just wear what you want, wear what feels good. Yeah. Forget the gender of it all.
Yeah. Well, I just remember being in college. My freshman roommate, I had a pink shirt as a freshman in college in 2014. Super woke. 2014, is that right? Yeah. I just remember my roommate being like, "That shirt's gay," and I was like, "What does it mean for a piece of clothing to be gay?" Like that didn't compute to me. Like clothing does not have like a sexual.
Well, back when gay was an insult that people were saying too.
That's true.
I did get a t-shirt from the last swap that says queer on the front. So I think that's a gay shirt.
That is
true. But not if you don't want it to be.
It's a queer shirt.
Okay, next thought. I'm so glad I've been waiting to talk to people who are interested. Are you interested in clothing, just in general?
If I could wear a uniform every day and not think
so maybe you're not the right person to talk to about my thought.
How?
Wait, are you interested in clothing?
Oh,
Carly?
Yes, I would say, but like, I'm not like a big fashionista or anything.
Okay, I'm gonna lay out a brain thought I've had. Okay. And I'm interested in how you feel about it. Brain thought. It's one of those.
As opposed to
I don't know. Within the history, actually, so all of my thoughts are based around car-based developments. In my mind, people used to dress really well. 20s, 30s, 40s dress. A lot of those, a lot of that's like pretty nice. If you look at like traditional, like American wear of like, you wear a sports jacket or like a nice tailored suit, that type of stuff. Everybody had that type of, not everybody, but you know what I'm saying? In traditional imagery. Whereas now I view people as leaning more towards like, not sportswear, that's not the word.
Like comfort?
Athleisure, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
And my cook is that because people are so tied to their cars And we are so focused on getting from point A to point B, and you don't have to interface with other people because of you're in your car, you're in your personal box. You feel more, you are almost like closing yourself off to the outside world. And so you're less committed to like dressing what may be traditionally considered well.
I feel like people from, I don't know, the early 1900s would keel over seeing like how many people just like are out in sweats. Like no judgment on that.
Yeah, no, it's
such a different
It's
world.
less of a condemnation, more of just like an observation about like how the culture has shifted to be more focused on like get to point A to point B and also be comfortable doing that, rather than I'm dressing well to talk to my neighbor when I go to the grocery store.
Yeah, and also like owning so much more clothing and consuming so much more, and it being of lower quality and not lasting as long, and not keeping it as long, and not, I don't know, taking care of it the way that you would.
Yeah. So like no shame on like how you, if you like wearing athleisure, I really don't care. Like that's not what I'm thinking about. It's more like why has this developed? But I think the consumption aspect also is true.
I think clothing is just like made to disintegrate now, like made of acrylic and like polyester. Like I think back then there's a lot more cotton involved, so it would last longer. That's another part of it. But I think people also just like prefer comfort over like looking nice, like he said. And is that a bad thing? I don't think so.
The world may never know. Yeah, that's what I'm always like thinking, like if in the world that I dream of, which is like more connected, more transit oriented, more pedestrian oriented, do people also, this is more of a question or a theoretical, it's like, do people then begin dressing better also? I wonder.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or do they wear more tennis shoes because they got to walk more?
Right. Yes. Like I wear comfortable shoes when I ride the bus.
I mean, I'm wearing leather shoes. I walked here from the circle.
I guess I would like to think that like people would, I don't know. I don't think people would like necessarily like dress better, but like you said, yeah, like wear more tennis shoes. I think people are dressing however they want now. Like I think back then, like trends were a lot more cookie cutter, you know, like everyone shops at the same store and they wear the same like general item of things. But now, like with online shopping, like people can explore their own styles. And I mean, yeah, a lot of people are gravitating towards athleisure, but also I think a lot of people are like trying alternative fashion more. So I don't think fashion is necessarily dead. Is that what you're saying? Or like
No. I think fashion is an extension of like, in a lot of ways, especially because we live under like such a consumption focused, a lot of fashion is purely based on like what they want you to buy. That's why there's like seasonal trends in that way. I am interested, Mads, if you could wear a uniform, what uniform you would wear?
A comfy pair of Carhartts.
Like
and-
overalls?
No, I mean, sure, overalls maybe sometimes. But
Dude, I lived in Moab, Utah for 6 months doing construction, and overalls are so comfortable. Huge fan of those. They do make it hard to go poop though.
Okay. Yeah, I used to have jobs where I like predominantly worked in the field, and so I wore like workwear and just like a grimy t-shirt, and I never had to think in the morning like, what am I gonna wear to work today? And now I have an email job where I sit at a desk and have to, it's not like I couldn't work somewhere where I have to wear like business professional, but I have to put some thought in the morning into what I'm going to wear, and it just like takes up time and brain space.
I had a friend when I worked at summer camp who wore scrubs every day. Just like she bought like 10 different colors of scrubs
Was she
and
a
just
nurse?
were just like she was like, they're comfortable and they're like easy to wear and like wash. I just wear scrubs.
Okay,
Maybe that could be
I
your
respect that.
Amazing. Let's move on. Sorry, I'm imagining you walking to your office every day wearing like different color scrubs every day. I think it's really funny. I can see the cogs turning.
They're comfortable for sure.
That was a no. That was a no if I've ever heard
there's
one.
just like I'm Filipino, and there's like a crazy percentage of nurses in the U.S. are Filipino.
Okay, I accept.
And so I'm just like, I don't really want to wear scrubs.
Let's move on to what I call the canned questions. Third Space Indy
Woo!
is sponsored by cityrising.org. My good friend Mark Lotta has decided to sponsor the podcast.
Nice.
Cityrising.org. Cityrising.org. City Rising is a social impact studio that leads and supports innovative projects that strengthen, celebrate, and repair people and places. So if you're a people, or you're the leader of a place and you're interested in improving your built or lived environment, reach out to me or reach out to Mark Lotta at cityrising.org and we'll hook you up. Mark has sponsored a question, which is, what is, sorry, it's funny to me too. What is a third space to you?
I would say a third space to me is, I mean, pretty on the nose with how you would describe it, with like, it's not your home, it's not work. It is a place where you go to relax, unwind, or have fun with friends. And I think a perfect world, it's a place where you don't have to spend money either. It's like a free resource. And it's a place that I want to be.
Can I give a specific example? I think a lot about college and how, I don't know, there's so much nostalgia thinking about like your time in college, and so much of that is because you lived in a walkable place where you could get around and see your friends without having to have a car, and there were free activities to do, and like your whole world was just like, I don't know, accessible and
micro ecosystem.
Right.
Where'd you go?
Earlham.
Earlham. Wait, in St. Louis? No.
No.
That's here in Indiana.
It's in Richmond.
Indiana.
Yeah.
I have a friend who went to Earlham. How old are you?
27.
Do you know McGee Catlett?
I do remember McGee.
That's crazy.
I feel like, oh, was McGee involved with hash?
I have no clue. McGee studied ornithology.
Yes. Yes. Shout out to Wendy Torrey. I never really had her as a professor, but ornithology. One of my biggest regrets, not taking the class.
Ornithology.
Ornithology and GIS.
If you don't know what ornithology is, that's the study of birds.
Burbs.
Oh, I see. I didn't know.
See, I felt the need to define it because it's like there's so many ologies. McGee loves birds. I don't know that McGee is still doing bird stuff, but they are a teacher at a school in Louisville. Shout out to McGee.
Shout out to
I'll send them this episode.
What was I saying? Oh, college. My favorite third space in college was this coffee co-op. It was called Rose City. It was in like a room off the maintenance building that they let students use, and it was like entirely student run, and you volunteered for like 2-hour shifts with a friend, and you got a free drink out of it, and coffee was like, I don't know, a couple bucks for a latte. And
Rest in peace. Couple dollar lattes.
well, even then that was very low, like compared to like a coffee shop in town.
Mm-hmm.
Just because there were no, like we weren't paying rent for the space or paying people to make the coffee, and it was full of old couches who had seen who knows how many decades of students, but you could also go in and not buy a coffee and just study or take a nap, which I did a lot of, or host a club meeting or like anything. So that was one of my favorite third spaces. It doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, why not?
Wait, that's a great preview into the next question, which I'm glad you already answered. Also, shout out to IU Bloomington. You've got a lot of issues, but the worst of all is that the IU Student Union, they replaced all the old comfortable couches with the worst furniture of all time.
Dang.
Is that worse than giving fascist Cam Whitten a $100,000 raise?
Are you allowed to say that?
I don't work for Bloomington.
Okay, yeah. No, but also to me, maybe. I think
Weigh in the comments.
Pam Whitten, please resign. I can say that. Oh, sorry. I was like, what was I talking about? Yeah, IU Bloomington, figure your shit out. Anyways, the next question, which is an extension, which you already answered, which is, what is a third space that existed previously for you that no longer does? And if you have an alternate answer, that would also be lovely.
I mean, it's that one, and like even if it still existed, it wouldn't really exist to me anymore because I'm not in school, I don't live there. But it's sad that it doesn't exist for future generations, and that, I don't know, college students won't know the beauty of Rose City.
I love that.
Like it doesn't exist anymore, like, or
doesn't exist. I think Mads phrased this very well, which is that it doesn't really matter whether it exists or not. It's a more of a personal way of phrasing it.
oh, okay.
Like it could still be there.
Oh, okay, but just like, okay. Like I don't visit it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. I can only think of ones that exist for me now.
What are your third spaces now?
I would consider my neighborhood a third space for me, which I know is like my house, but also like I really enjoy like walking. I live in Woodruff. I like rent there, and I really enjoy just like walking around the neighborhood and even like going to the dollar store and just like walking around there. Or, there's a lot of, I mean, I don't know, is the general outdoors a third space? Sometimes? Like a neighborhood, does that count?
The reason I say space instead of place is the proper term.
Yeah.
Because I believe that space is amorphous and malleable rather than places which are distinct.
Yeah.
And I think just saying I like outside is perfectly acceptable, especially when you're actually like living within some certain bounds, but also like I don't think it even matters that far.
Yeah. I never considered
like
that.
Woodruff Place is absolutely like a space.
It is. Okay, good. I mean, that would be my answer for a place that exists now that I still like to go to. I guess the third place that I used to go to as a kid a lot was the library. I grew up in Evansville, Indiana, and
Shout out Evansville.
yeah, I mean, they're trying. They're trying to get better.
Do you know Evansville has they have an urban old growth forest. It's like one of the only ones in the U.S., I think.
those don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Regular old growth forests, let alone urban ones.
Yeah, check it out. It's nice.
Yeah, the library there, it's like one of those libraries that's like built into a hill. So I just remember how beautiful the outside of the building is, and I can still like remember like going inside of it and like the smell of it, and just like, I don't know, it was just such a warm ambient place. And I have yet to go to a library that I feel that level of comfort towards. Like, no offense to the libraries in Indianapolis, they're really chill and cool, and I like enjoy all of them. But maybe it's the nostalgia factor too. That one just, it hit different.
There's a library in Louisville, Kentucky, which is where I'm from,
cool.
the St. Matthew's Library, that has like a specific smell. It's probably just book smell, but I don't think books smell the same as when I was a kid for some reason.
That's a good.
So like I have like this really distinct smell in my mind of like what that library smells like.
So you know
And
it,
it's
you know
really
it too.
nostalgic. No, I know
Yeah.
what you mean. And libraries definitely don't feel the same. And I think there is you used the word whimsy earlier. I think there's a level of whimsy associated with being a child and being surrounded by books in a library. It's different than a bookstore. It kind of hits differently, but I do think there's like a loss of getting older and like maybe even viewing books differently also.
Yeah, do you think like a library is like one of the first third spaces that people are introduced to, like as children?
Ooh, introduced
If
to.
you don't go to church, yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
I
somebody asked me the question on the podcast I was on earlier this week. He asked me if coffee shops were the first third space, and I said absolutely not. But I think your phrasing of like the first ones like children are introduced to is like really intriguing. Like a lot of time it'd be like childcare, maybe, but definitely like libraries are up there.
Even childcare, I don't know. Now I'm just thinking about third spaces for children, but like, wouldn't that be considered like school or work for a child? Childcare, having to go to
I
the
personally
babysitter?
believe
Kid job.
people disagree with me on this, and by people I just mean one person so far, but I personally think school is a third space for children, even though it's work. But like, there's so much social, so many social aspects to school itself that I think like it is impossible to disregard that.
That's true.
Is private school a third space?
Now you're just You're just trying to start arguments.
Hey, that's what podcasts are for.
Every episode, I ask a question from the previous guest. My previous guest was, I literally talked to her this morning, Haley McGinley, the owner of Native Bread. And she asked the question, what is something that held you back last year that you're going to not let you hold you back? Wait, how do they say? Not let hold you back this year?
That's a great question. It is the year of the fire horse.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
You've heard that.
I'm a tiger, so I don't know. Are you?
I'm a rabbit. That makes sense for the two of us.
I'm a pig.
Wow.
I don't know what element of pig.
I don't know what element.
Something that held me back last year that I won't let this year.
Do you want to hear my take on you?
Yes.
I mean, I think you're leaning into creativity this year. I think
Really?
you're not letting, I don't know, the restrictions of a job. Like, I don't know. Like in the past, you've had to use like swap session stuff as your outlet for your creativity,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this is your year for letting your creativity lead.
Dude, that's beautiful. Thank you for noticing that, because I did quit my job.
Let's go.
Yeah, and I think I might steal that answer. Like, not only am I trying to like lead with creativity, but just like lead as a more like authentic version of myself. I think I always try to perform in a certain like way that fits a box that I'm trying to break out of. So I don't know if that's really vague or too vague, metaphorical maybe, but is that a good answer?
No, I think it's fine.
Philosophical.
Yeah, philosophical. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm trying to do less this year.
What held you back about doing more?
I have so many interests and passions. I do too many crafts. I don't need more hobbies. But I like helping run Swap Sesh, and I like volunteering. I volunteered at People for Urban Progress pretty regularly last year. Sorry, Jason, I have not reached out. I like to be outside. I don't know. There's
So what are you cutting out?
There's so many things. I just like need to learn to say no sometimes.
Same.
Me too.
Have you ever heard of spoon theory?
No. I've heard of horseshoe theory, but we won't get into that.
I don't know what that is.
Whoa.
I'm disabled, and spoon theory is this idea that people who live with chronic illness or chronic pain or disability have a limited number of spoons every day, and spoons is like a metaphor for energy. And it's not that able-bodied people have unlimited spoons, but you can pretty typically, like, you get a good night of sleep, you eat right, whatever, you can go to work and hang out with friends and do your chores and whatever, and you're not like super thinking about like, do I have enough spoons to do this thing? But people with chronic illness and chronic pain might wake up and only have 2 spoons, and it's like, I have to figure out how to get to work and do my job and like feed myself. And you can go into spoon debt and all this stuff. So like, I like doing all the things, and I also have to take care of myself.
Very succinct. That's a good answer.
I kind of feel that honestly too.
The last time, just on the topic of like having too many interests, the last time I cried, which it does not happen often.
I love crying.
I'm not a very emotional person. The last time I cried was in Arkansas. I had just talked to my therapist about thinking I had ADHD, went to get tested, had a terrible experience getting tested, and then had a like total mental breakdown about thinking I had ADHD, and then also like freaking out about having too many interests and not enough lifetime to experience those things. It was like a total, and I'm
existential.
I'm over it now. But that was like, I think, a very helpful cry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
but I don't cry very often.
So many books, so little time. I think about that a lot. There's
Yeah.
so many things I want to read.
Oh my
We've
God.
read a lot of
I
books
wish I
so
could.
far.
My wife hates that I say this, but I wish I could put my hand on the book and like read it.
Mm,
Yeah.
mhm. Just absorb.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool superpower.
Literally, I like don't. I don't think I enjoy the process of reading, but I enjoy the knowledge, if that makes sense. So I'm like,
Oh.
what?
I think I'm the opposite.
Really?
I love reading and I retain nothing.
True.
People are like, oh, you read this many books last month. Like, what was your favorite? And I'm like, let me look at my story graph and get back to you. I like it. It doesn't stick.
Yeah.
That's what I probably way more healthy than whatever I'm doing. Is there anything else you guys would like to talk about before we wrap up?
No. I think this has been great. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One last question, and you get two because there's two of you, unless you agree on a single. What question would you like to ask the next Third Space Indy guest?
That was impressive.
And you can think for a second. It's getting dark though.
Should we make it like clothing related because we're like a clothing swap?
It can be about whatever you like.
I think I want to make it clothing related because we're about a clothing swap. I would say, what is your favorite trusty go-to clothing item? Oh wait, no. Actually, I want to change it. If you were a cartoon character, what outfit would you choose to wear every single day?
Because cartoon characters only have a single outfit most of the time.
A
Yes.
uniform,
Yes.
if you will.
A uniform.
Oh wait, what was the question that the person from earlier asked? I need inspiration.
Their question was actually they didn't actually come up with it themselves. It was actually from an event we were both at last night, which was, what was holding you back last year that you don't want to hold you back this year? It's a little sort of like introspective, but you can ask whatever you want. I love the cartoon character one.
Yeah.
That's good.
I wanted to ask something a little more lighthearted than that.
What do you love about Indy?
Oh.
Easy. And I know the person will like that question. And
Wait,
I'll have an answer.
do we not know who the person
I
is?
can't tell you.
Oh, okay.
I don't say it on this for a reason, but wait, we got one last second. Thank you guys for coming on. I really enjoyed our conversation. It's dark and cold now, so
Cold.
we should wrap it up. Are your hands still like falling off your hand on your body?
Yeah.
Can you let the people know, and you can do it for your individual selves as well, where the people can find you if you want to be found?
Oh. Well, you can find us here at Garfield Park Arts Center next month, March 21st, 12 to 2:30. Or you can find me at 1656 Club. I've been going there pretty frequently.
You can also find us in the digital world
Oh, yeah, that too.
at Sesh on Instagram. My personal, like for my art, is So Darn Radical. SEW darn radical.
Yeah, I didn't even process that it was digital.
No, people need to like physically
yeah.
find us too.
It's true. I also made a TikTok, so you can follow us on TikTok now, Swap Sesh Indy.
This is news to me.
I know, I didn't tell anyone, but you can also find me. My username's Carnval on Instagram.
It's like carnival without the I.
Yes, exactly. It's my initials too. And yeah, that's basically the only social media I use personally.
Dope.
Connect with me on LinkedIn.
No, please don't.
Are you being serious?
I don't know. I mean,
Are you a LinkedIn user? Are you posting about
No,
increasing
I don't-
shareholder value?
no, I don't post, but I like to browse.
We can connect on LinkedIn.
People are strange on there.
I have been like thinking about like, if I lost my job again, which is how I started this podcast, is after losing my job. It's like I should be posting about how I perceive my podcast as successful on LinkedIn, so people think I'm worth something.
Oh yeah, and you have to do the weird format of it's like one sentence and then they hit enter a bunch of times.
Yes.
I lost my job last year.
Yeah.
Here's why I think I'm successful.
Yeah. Exactly. Straight up. Hey, thank you so much for watching or listening to this episode of Third Space Indy. You can find me at Third Space Indy on Instagram, or by going to thirdspaceindy.com, where sometimes I write a blog. I'm behind, but I will catch up, I promise.
I believe in you.
Truly. Thank you, GPAC, for hosting us, Garfield Park Arts Center, even though we just are sitting outside in the cold. And thank
The
you.
outside is a third space.
The outside is a third space. Thank you, cityrising.org, for sponsoring the podcast. And thank you, as always, to the local artist, Jennison, for allowing me to use your song, Scared Rabbit, as the intro music. Thank you once again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.
Peace.
Scared rabbit, is the coast clear? Go grab it, you're gonna starve here. On your bed of death with one regret, what you never said.